Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Eric Benét, and you know I got soul. Come on.
Thanks for making some time for us once again. Good to speak with you once again. It's been a
Man,
while.
man, my pleasure, bro. My pleasure.
Excited to be here on this, new chapter for you, the new album coming out, the co-star. It's been quite a while. We've been waiting for something. So, excited about the concept of this album. I mean, you started with, kind of the duet collaborations on the EP, and now we have a full-length album. Kind of talk
Yeah,
about what led you to want to go that route.
yeah. Um, it has been quite a minute, as you said, since I've come out with anything as far as like a full project, a full album. And, some really fortuitous things have happened. Very excited to have secured the relationships and the necessary funding to launch a label. And it was a desire that myself and a very dear friend of mine, um, who has the financial means to support such a venture,
Yeah.
we wanted to create a label that was very pro uh, empowering the artist, very pro allowing the artist to have ownership in their career, both creatively and financially, and me being an artist who I'm grateful for my experience in the uh, major label system, but I think I was able to navigate very interesting circumstances successfully, um, as kind of a case of a minority, not a majority of artists, and to be able to like sustain over decades, and in spite of a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes in corporate America, and especially the record industry. So I just wanted to have this safe home for artists, not just safe for their creativity, but safe for helping them build their financial literacy, helping them to just uh, 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 give them the autonomy to have agency for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt like that wasn't the case for me. Again, I'm grateful because I wouldn't be here talking to you if I wasn't signed by
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, and the fates and God or the universe, whoever allowed the dots to connect for me. Um, so anyway, once I started this label, I know my limitations. I am not an executive person. I'm a creative person. So I reached out to the person who gave me my first record deal, which is Allison Ball. She signed me to Warner Brothers,
Wow.
and we had remained friends, like really close friends through the years. And so I had this opportunity of basically a ship, and a ship that could plot a course somewhere. I mean, I kind of knew a little bit about boating, but I didn't want to be the captain. So I asked her to be the CEO, and she graciously accepted. And we've been sailing pretty strong, man. I mean, we decided that my first project should be something unique. And, looking back on my major successes over my career, a lot of them have been duets. So it's like, yeah, let's do a duets project. It's a big undertaking because it's a lot of coordinating with schedules, and a lot of logistics involved. But we pulled it off. And thanks to my team at JBR, that's the name of the label, and big, huge thanks to the incredible women who uh, extended and offered their talent and their time and their energy and their love to this duets project. So yeah, it started off as an EP, a 5-song EP, and it was always the expectation to do a full album. And I couldn't be more excited not only about how the full album feels, but even before it's come out and just letting people know that it's come out, it's a pretty groundbreaking thing to happen, and it means a lot to the culture, to the industry right now, because the type of music that I'm associated with, and the type of music that I write and make is the type of music that is needed, I think, in the industry right now. And when people hear it, they're like, oh yeah, damn, that's what we need. That's what we've been missing. So I'm just so honored, uh, to be the curator of this project, and to be able to present it to the world.
It's special to see that you're doing something like this because I feel like, to me, some of the most special moments in R&B is when we have these surprise collaborations or special artists coming together to make something,
Yeah.
make music, and you have a full album of it, which is a bit unique and definitely special. How did you even choose, who you're going to feature on this album? I know you probably had a lot of choices to pick from, but how did you narrow it even down?
Yeah. It was, I've always been of the philosophy that the music, let the music lead the way. Because for me, I mean, that's what works for me. Sometimes it's lyrics for some people, sometimes it's the music, but for me, I'm usually struck by, when conceiving a song or writing a song, I'm struck by a melody um, that just hits me out of nowhere, and it resonates a certain way, and I realize, oh, I got to get that down. Now, once I've established the music, then the music, like I said, let the music lead the way. The music is going to speak to me. The music is going to tell me like what kind of tone is going to be right over this hook. And when I hear that verse, uh, what kind of characteristics do I need in the vocal timbre, the cadence, the power? And then that will be like, oh, I know exactly the person that could kill this and make it a complete piece of or come to its full potential of its initial inception. So that's kind of how it is for me, and that's how we did it with every song. It was like whether a producer sent me something, and I was really fortunate to work with a couple of incredible producers on this project, Tony Dixon, DJ Camper, um, and in addition to my usual writing partner, Randy Amata. Once we hear, once we've established what the foundation is, the music or the track, that leads the way to choosing who's going to be right for that particular song.
Awesome. And I like earlier how you pointed out that what you're coming out with is something unique to you and something that people are missing, that there's a void for and that people want to hear. Because I personally felt like, listening to your music and covering your music for the past 15 years, that's exactly what you give us every time. It's true to yourself. Starting with, I remember when I launched my brand, Lost in Time came out, and we
Right.
said that was our favorite album of 2010. Like that was the best
Wow,
album
that's dope.
and it hasn't stopped. I mean, the one came out, the great album. The Eric Benét album came out, great album. It's true to you. It's not doing something we don't expect. So I already know we're gonna get something really special this time around.
I
I'm just glad you
appreciate that,
always
man.
deliver.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how much does it mean to you to do something from your heart and from your soul?
I mean, as far as like creating music, that's the only way I know how to do it. And it's like you don't, or I don't go into the studio or sit down at a piano or pick up a guitar with any thought other than let me give myself goosebumps with whatever happens right now. And if it doesn't immediately give me that, "Ooh, what was that? That feeling, then I'm usually all right, I'm gonna just move on to something else.
Yeah.
So I think that's been the consistent for me with creating the initial from inception of a song. I have to sense something that is moving me and coming from my heart, coming from my soul. And then once I said, Let the music lead the way. Once we establish that music, then I'm like, oh, I gotta honor that.
Yeah.
I have to honor that melody with a lyric that honors how that melody just made me feel. What is that melody? What stories is that melody telling me right now that will make me want to write what words to it? And so, with every step of the way, you come authentic, you come from the heart. And that's pretty much how we handle this project too. Whether I was writing the songs or I was co-writing with somebody or somebody like DJ Camper or Tony Dixon like gave us a track that that track had to move me. And then from there, where do we go? So
Awesome. Now, I know you mentioned some of the artist development you've been doing since the last album. It's been, I guess said almost 9 years, 10 years since your last album. The landscape in R&B and music in general has changed so much in that time. I mean, for you, was it always a given that you were going to come back with another album? And I only ask because so many artists have like kind of strayed away from doing new music with the way it's supported now. For you, was it always a guarantee?
I mean, I think anybody who's going to tell you that it wasn't even a guarantee that the music industry would still be here. And as far as I'm concerned, the music industry that I found my early success, uh, it ain't here no more.
Yeah.
It's something entirely different. So to answer your question, no, it was not always a given. But what was always a given is that music is always going to be in me, and whether I could use music to pay the rent or buy a bus pass, it's like I'm still going to be writing it. I'm still going to be doing whatever I'm doing throughout the day, and all of a sudden I'll hear like, oh damn, what was that? That's dope. I mean that doesn't stop. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it makes sense. One thing I didn't get to hear the album yet, but I seen the track list. I'm obviously very excited to hear it. One
Yeah.
thing I'm missing when looking at the track list is a male collaboration, and I know this is all females, but I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you were to collaborate with a male in a duet, is there anyone that comes to mind that like be like, yeah, that would be the one I can see myself making a great song with?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't think I've because you
Because I don't think you've actually done in your career. I was going
yeah.
back to a lot of music. I don't think you've actually done one that I could recall.
You know what I've always thought would be dope? I've always thought it would be like crazy if Maxwell and I got on a track.
Mm,
Maxwell and I often think of that song way back in the day. A lot of people may not remember it, but Luther did a song with Gregory Hines, and it was just two brothers talking about just how wonderful love is.
yeah.
And I would love to do a song like that with somebody like yeah, that would be dope. Somebody like Maxwell.
You were actually on tour with two amazing artists who I can't even imagine what a collaboration with you and them two would sound like. But I would love to hear that. I mean, that would be so
Man,
unexpected.
listen, I would love to hear that too. Like me and Joe, or me and Music
Yeah,
Soul Child. Oh my
yeah.
God. Or what about a super group?
Oh,
That would be
no,
crazy.
that'd be dope. Um, I got to ask you. I'm a music junkie, and I was going back through your discography. Just I like to dig and see if anything I missed. I found a song from the late '90s you did. This is a 5-star song. I'm like, how did I miss this? A
Which
song you
one?
did with the Roots. It's called "Why." It was on a soundtrack. Do
Oh,
you
with the
remember?
Jazzy Fat Nasties.
Oh my goodness! Do you remember that
Yeah.
song? That is an amazing,
Oh
amazing song.
God. I
What do
love
you
that
remember about that?
joint.
Yeah.
Not only do I love that song, but I just love that time. That was a time when people still bought records. And that was a time, before, I mean, I'm gonna start sounding like an old man now. That was a time before technology would give these metaphorical crutches to people who couldn't really sing or play. And, I was in what felt like to me, I was in Philly. I think I was writing songs for my next joint after A Day in the Life. And there was something about being in Philadelphia at that time, because I did some of the songs from A Day in the Life in Philly, and I not only fell in love with the city, but there was an energy
Yeah.
of, you know, of songwriting, of producing. The Roots, James Poyser, and all these other cats were just like, you know, Jill Scott would just got signed, would come through the studio and hang out, and Erica Badu was what was doing her thing, and James Poyser and some of the other musicians would be like, "Yo, we're gonna have to end the session early, Eric, at 7 because we got this album we working on with Lauryn Hill." You know, it was
Oh,
Miseducation. So
wow.
it was just like this magical time. And it reminded me of what it must have felt like in the 60s for Motown, because we were Scott Storch was just kind of coming up and doing his thing. It was like there were a couple studios where all of this stuff would happen, and we would all bounce between studios, and it was an incredible time. And yeah, I remember I believe it was the Roots old manager, Rich Nichols, who unfortunately, you know, he passed away a long time ago. He was also representing this girl group called the Jazzy Fat
Yeah, of
Nasties,
course.
and they're listed on the song, right?
You know what? I don't think I realized whose voice that was until you just said it, because
Yeah.
I
So
hear
anyway,
the voice.
and I remember it was really interesting, as a lot of people in the music industry, they can't sing. Oddly enough, a lot of songwriters can't sing. But Rich, who was representing this new girl group called Jazzy Fat Nasties, and like I said, Rich, he managed the Roots at that time. He caught me. He caught me in the probably in the lobby of one of these studios, and he was like, "Yo, E, oh yeah, I got this new girl group," and I met the girls, and they were dope. And Rich couldn't sing, and he said, what if y'all do a song? What if you do a song with my girls, and it goes like this? Why in the name of love? And I was like, dude, I don't know what the hell you trying to sing, but I'm gonna like interpret, try to
Yeah.
try to interpret that. I don't know if you hear siren. I'm gonna try to interpret that, and so that's what we came up with.
No, amazing song. I'm glad I discovered it. I just found it in recent years. I have it in heavy rotation right now. So awesome song. And just last
Thank
part
you.
of this interview, just this fun segment we do called Rapid Fire. I'm just gonna throw some
Yeah,
really quick thoughts out. Give me the first album or song or whatever that comes to mind.
yeah.
Um, a song of yours that should have been a single. It was an album cut that could have easily been a single that took off.
Um, I I hear the song. I'm waiting for the hook so I could. That's what happens when you feel that when you're in your late 50s.
No,
Uh,
I put you on the spot though. It's all good.
damn. Um, come back to me. I'm gonna tell you the name of that
Okay.
song.
How about a single you put out that maybe you didn't expect to necessarily do well that actually did way better than you expected?
Uh, I know exactly what song that is, because as often happens at Warner Brothers, um, the 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 executive turntable
Oh,
turns often, and the people in charge are often replaced. So there was a time at Warner Brothers when when I didn't know if I would even get another budget to do another album, because we had a new president, a whole new head of the black music department, and for whatever reason they weren't feeling Eric Bonet, and I was really on the verge of getting dropped. So I was letting the new head of promotion, who was an Eric Benét fan, I was like, bro, I'm gonna let you hear this record that we just did. And I let him hear, his name's Ken Wilson. I let him hear all of my joints on the record. He's like, no, you got some good shit here, bro. This good. We gonna be good. We gonna be good. I'm gonna talk to him. We gonna be good. And then as I was leaving his office, I was like, wait, there's one more joint. I'm gonna let you hear it. It's this probably one of those album songs, and this is probably one of them songs that's just for me. Probably won't be a radio joint. I played it for him. He was like, man, what the heck? This the single. And that was You're the Only One.
Oh wow.
You're the only one I
Yeah.
want. I never thought that was going to be a single. And it turned out to be not only a number one record, but it was the number one record that kept me, it gave me life for a whole nother like couple albums
Amazing.
in the Warner Capital family.
Love that story. How about what is, in your opinion, not including your new project coming out, what is your most complete album, in your opinion, that you've had so far?
I honestly think that my most complete solo album was probably uh Lost in Time.
Mm, great answer. I love
And
that album.
I mean, I hate to just answer for the sake of marketing right now, but I think my most impressive album will be the one that's coming out on June 6th, the Co-Star.
Yep.
The level of musicianship, the uh, the integrity of the songwriting, and the complete diversity. I like to I like to be diverse when I create a body of work, and the women. Once again, my heart and my soul goes out to every woman on that project that said yes to being a part of this because they did not have to.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the co-star is going to be one of them ones where it's like, I don't know what you listening to right now, but y'all need to go listen to that Eric Benét co-star album. That thing crazy right now. So
I like that. We'll take that answer. I just got two more of these for you. That we're all good. What would you be doing if you were not an artist or a musician? What would you be doing for a career or in
I'd
life?
be an author. I'd be writing. I'd probably be writing fiction. I'd
Yep.
be writing fantasy. Um, I'd be writing fantasy that was inspired by socio political uh, uh, troubles of the
Yes.
world.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be doing something like that. The name of the song is Trippin'. When you
Oh
first asked
yes.
me,
Yes.
yeah, I kind of
That
felt
was the
like
one.
that should have been a single.
Yeah, that was gonna be. I think it was gonna be on your Better and Better album, right?
It
And then
was going to be. That's one of those. That's one of those ones that was. You're absolutely right. Was going to be on Better and Better.
yeah, gotcha. Great song. I actually like that one too.
Thank you.
Um, and then last one. You're always on the road doing shows. Do you have a go-to food or dish? Whether you're at the venue or you're at, that you just look out for when you're in a certain town. Do you have a go-to?
I'm pretty consistent with staying away from certain things as opposed to a specific food. I'm
Yeah.
consistent with staying away from fried, from sugar, uh, from processed foods. I'll do grilled. I'm pretty much pescatarian. I'll do like grilled fish, stay away from tilapia, and I cut out alcohol for the most part. Once or twice a month, I'll have a glass of wine, but I'll limit it to that.
Awesome. Love that. Great. That's all I had for you, Eric. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
I probably just want to say just how excited I am to share this project, to co-star with the world, and please, whoever's listening to this interview, um, you owe it to yourself to check it out because it's, if I dare say so myself, it's very impressive. So check it out.